was a little mix-up on the flag, so the veterans are checking for the Bowman flag was supposed to go up on the main pole, so we're kind of looking around, trying to locate it again. Each day we honor special veterans among our people, and we raise them on the main pole. And all veterans, I'd like to ask you to stand by after our Little Priest songs, as we're going to go to some introductions this morning. So all veterans, if you will, please stay back, as again we're going to introduce each of you. Some of you may have a few words you wish to express on behalf of your service or your people, your nation. And again, we want to thank Greenville for rendering the flag song. Each day we raise our colors at 6 a.m. before sunrise. And I'll basically recite the story revolved around the return of Chief Little Priest after our introductions. For some of you that may want to purchase some of these program books, the story in part is written into that. So I do encourage you to okay, veterans, we located the flag, so if you will, we'd like to ask you to stand by. Veterans, if you will, please stand by.
Okay. Hey, Taylor, hold on. Right here. Vietnam veteran here. There you go. Thank you. We want to thank the family of Chuck Bowman for bringing that flag over here. Thinking about Chuck, he was a big part of our Veterans Association when he was around here, and wanted to recognize that. For many years he helped the Winnebago Veterans Association with many things, so it's good that we're doing that for him. Flag song, one time through. All right, thank you, Gray. Well, you veterans, can you come over here and sign my list that help us raise these flags? I want to know who you are. I got a paper here, and you can, all your visitors, not you, Taylor. I don't know who you are. all the not all of our visitors, veterans. I know all the rest of you, so if you're one of the homeboys, don't worry about it. But all you new veterans want you to sign in. So yes, we need a lot of help in the morning, and appreciate each and every one of you. And when comes Sunday, I'm really see if you guys are still got it, because Sunday you're gonna feel it. So I'm turning this back over here to Mr. Ladd.
Back in the 1800s, through a series of 8 treaties, the Winnebago people, the Ho-Chungatta people, were relocated eventually through Minnesota, Iowa, down here to Nebraska. During those treaties, many of our elders, because of our ancestors being buried in Wisconsin, they fought to return. Many of the Ho-Chungatta people had to hide in the swamps, hiding from the federal government troops, and eventually over a period of time they received allotments. So the original band of the Ho-Chungatta Winnebago people resides over 14 counties in Wisconsin. Annually we come down to celebrate and honor Chief Little Priest, an individual, a chief that distinguished himself in battle. And today we honor his memory and again the sacrifice that he had made. I'll basically recite the story after our little break here. And so I'm going to ask all the veterans, family members, the Ho-Chungatta, the Winnebago people, if you will, accompany us as we honor Chief Little Priest. And there were 4 songs that were made in his honor. In his honor, again, Sejam, all the, again, sacrifice for our tradition and our way of life. So we're going to call upon, again, Gray Wolf for the Little Priest songs. So veterans, all veterans, we certainly appreciate. We invite you to come on out. All the Ho-Chungatta and the Winnebago people, as well as our visitors. We'd like to invite you to come on out. So, Gray Wolf, ho-ho, we're now there. Okay, veterans, we invite you to come on out. Again, we'd like to invite all veterans, family, friends. Let us honor, again, Chief Little Priest and the brave deeds that he had brought, the war trophies that he brought back to our people. We honor his memory annually, and veterans are called upon to can perhaps express themselves in their own way. To the Ho-Chungatta people, we've always depended on our veterans, our warriors, to lead our people. we talk about the rights that our people certainly do enjoy and using the circle based on their sacrifice, but they have brought back to our people. I can move to our next song. Veterans, we're going to ask you to kind of stand by right after our last song.
No.
believe we go to our next and final song. And so veterans, again, I'm going to ask you to stand by. All those that assisted us in raising our colors. So if you will, great, well, why know we did. Master over there. Let's go. Oh, Vinegar. I'd like to ask all the veterans to come up to assist us in raising our colors to come up to the speaker stand. Ask you to line up. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself and perhaps what branch you served, and maybe have a few words you wish to express to the people. So we are live on the air, so we'd like to ask all veterans to line up across here. And you know, listening to these songs, it's very difficult not wanting to say something. I like to sit back and enjoy the words that are expressed in these songs. And again, these songs have not changed over 160 years. These songs still remain over the years. I was fortunate enough to receive a copy, the little Chief Little Priest songs and the storyline behind each. It was very difficult in finding elders to help me interpret a lot of the words, the stories, because language has changed so much over the years. Among the Ho-Changara people, the Winnebago people, again, we pride ourselves with the sacrifice of many of our veterans, our warriors over the years, the centuries. At this time, I'm going to ask each of these veterans to express themselves, introduce themselves, what branch, express themselves, and they're coming back to the annual homecoming celebration. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our veterans.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brad Ross. I'm from Winnebago. I'm a Vietnam veteran, United States Air Force, and thankful to have my family make it all back, share the weekend with, and thankful for the beautiful morning. Thanks.
Trisha Ross, U.S. Air Force. Kristen Ross, U.S. Air Force.
Bruce Kennedy, Gunner's Mate Technician, 2nd Class, U.S. Navy. Serve as Mark 16 Azeroth maintenance man on board the USS Arthur W. Radford. And it's a pleasure to be here with all you honorable veterans. Good morning.
Hi, Nabi. My name's Anthony Bassett. I was the U.S. Air Force from 2013 to 2020.
White Husky Class, HIC Squeeze Soviet, Remy Lacombe, United States Marine Corps.
Lena Nails, all source analyst, 35 Delta Military Intelligence, U.S. Army.
Sam Van Loon, Pennsylvania Army National Guard, Black Hawk pilot.
Onahinli Achokmasa, Chief of Alan Brat, Oklahoma Choctaw, Siahoki. Good morning, my name is Alan Brat, I'm Oklahoma Choctaw, U.S. Army, Afghanistan veteran. I'm just happy to be here with you guys again, sharing your celebration.
My name is Corey Fournier, United States Army, 68 Whiskey, Combat Medic, Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Tilo Lara Ely, Winnebago and Paiute, U.S. Army. Just happy to be here with everybody.
Christian Sigmund, U.S. Air Force, Security Forces.
Ira Alanis, U.S. Navy, 2018 or 2088, 1988 to 2018. USNR, up until 3924.
Alex Pelkey, U.S. Army, infantry.
Carl Baker, United States Navy. Spent 9 years in the Navy. I started out in a deck force and I became a ship surgeon and a barber. Just because I cut hair around here at a reservation, they made me a barber. Then I ended up being an electronics technician.
Charles Aldrich, U.S. Army, Airborne Rock Ranger.
Charles Isley, U.S. Army.
James Woody, electronics technician, 2nd class, United States Navy.
Taylor Bass, U.S. Army.
Morning, Eric Armel, United States Marine Corps, 0351, U.S. Army, 11 Bravo, 45 Echo, 63 Alpha, 19 Kilo, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Afghanistan. So with that, good morning, everybody.
Again, at this time, how about a round of applause, audience, for each of these veterans serving our country in their own way, and certainly very appreciative on behalf of the Winnebago Nation Winnebago tribe, and gonna ask Grey Wolf to honor these veterans with a veteran song we call sometimes the victory song. Upon the return of our warriors, they honored specific individuals that distinguished themselves in battle, and songs were composed in their honor. And we depended on these individuals to lead our people, and again, this is what we call a right. To the Ho-Chungath, to the Winnebago people, a right was based on a life taken in battle. Coup, the taking of the scalps, the war trophies that were brought back to our people. We look at our eagle staff. Each of those feathers represent a brave deed, or perhaps an individual that sacrificed himself for our tradition and our way of life. So at this time, I'm going to call upon again Grey Wolf with a veteran song, a victory song on behalf of each of these individuals, and again, on behalf of the Winnebago people. Certainly very appreciative, especially for many of those that were combat veterans. So, if you will, Grey Wolf. Again, calling all veterans, family members, we encourage you to come on out and support your family member your own way. We invite all the people, the Ho-Chungath, the Winnebago, many of our non-native friends as well. We ask you in a nice way to come on out and let us honor the bravery, the sacrifice of many of these veterans. Again, this song is rendered for all veterans, all our visitors, our friends, and especially to many of our women relatives. They are the backbone of our nation, and being our first teachers, they bring life to our people, and we also honor them through song as well, song and dance. So, again, all veterans need not have to be native. I'd like to invite everyone to come on out. And again, I want to thank the audience, all of you that did stand and respect again to our tradition, our way of life. Again, veterans, stand by. On a last minute notice, we are honoring Chuck Bowman, a Vietnam veteran. And I believe, speaking in behalf of the family and our veteran, our deceased veteran, our main flagpole, I'd like to call upon Mr. Chuck Ulrich to speak and to the people, and so if you will. Charlie Ulrich. Hey, Chuck, same thing. Hey.
I want to say good morning towards each and every one of you here this time. And my daughter's here. They asked me if I could say a few words, and I'm sure glad I was able to make it out here this morning. Always have a lot of very busy person. And I want to say thank you towards each and every one of you here this morning. Our drum over here, Gray Wolf, and talking about Chuck Bowman. And Chuck, he's non-native. He was married to my sister Lenora Snake, and they have these our girls here, Maxine and Virginia. And Virginia is our princess. And then kind of caught me surprised here a little bit, but there was one contribution. He made a contribution for our people, and that was that he took care of these Indian flags here for our people for a lot of years. I mean, quite a few years in their home. Him and Lenora's home, and he made sure that they were taken care of, and he would bring them out during whenever it was requested, when someone passed away, a soldier passed away, and then whenever they were needed, they were in their home, and I sure appreciated that, and that he done that for our people. I mean, I guess it kind of showed us that there should be a Native American or whatever, like that, kind of taking care of these kind of things. They belong to the veterans, and yet he volunteered, took it upon himself, and he done that for our people for a lot of years until we got into a conversation with one of my Degas, Louis Houghton Jr., and he wanted this veterans building built over here, and he went about it in such a way and got it done so that these staffs would have a home and a place for our veterans to congregate and those kind of things. But all the way up until that time, Chuck, he took care of these, and while my girls were, from the time they were little till they were much older, like that. And I thought that was really honorable of him to do for us. I would go over there and visit with him and tell him thank you, and wish him well, and wish my sister well for making a home for all our Eagle staffs. And so I don't know if everybody realized that or knew that about him or knew that about us, like that, but they should all be taken care of. There was a few other staffs too that were around Winnebago, and they got I guess misplaced or whatever you want to call it, but they ain't around anymore. Then there's a few family ones also, and that various families have and take care of, and so I would like to see one day, all the ones that are around used in this arena, since they were made, like that. Some of them are originally made too, but I just wanted to mention that here this time, and on our older staffs, these feathers they were individually put up on there by a deed of a warrior. But today we you know, there might be one whole eagle on that staff, you know. But I just wanted to mention that the thought and feeling and the things that he was taking care of, you know, that might have been a great deed by a warrior back there in some day, you know, back in the day on some of the older ones that are taken care of, you know. So I'm glad that today we have a place for him, but all the way up until that time, he took care of them. I'm trying to think how many years, but long as I could remember, it was a long time, you know, like that. And then Chucky was just kind of a certain way, you know, like that. And we always teased my daughter over here, you know, like that, about fishing and, you know, kind of like those kind of things, you know, like that. He was just a certain kind of way. And then he used to come out here and try to take care of everything, help the veterans out. And one day we was out here flag raising, we got done, and we was visiting back here, and then he told me that he was ill, he was sick, and I was kind of like, you'll be all right, you know. He said, but he told me he was sick for a long time, you know, like that. But he was trying to do his best to stay healthy, you know. And he was even wounded, you know, like that. That he used to tell me different stories, you know, like that. And the Army's made up of a lot of MOSs, but when the bullets start flying, everybody kind of joins in, you know, like that. And along that line, he got wounded. So I'm really glad that even though he's non-native, you know, like that, and to make that clear, he made his home here, and he has children here, and he took care of these staffs here for us. So, you know, I don't have too much else to say. You know, I'm just really grateful here towards the gathering here, and I want to wish my girls well, you know, like that, for having their dad's flag fly here this time, and that's all I wanted to say. Thank you. Now you got a guy to replace me next year.
Lena, if you're in the listening area, I'd like to ask you to come on up. Jeff Brown, if you're here. Again, we're going to open the mic out to anyone and everyone that wishes to perhaps express themselves on behalf of their veterans or behalf of the powwow itself. There's a young lady. Veterans, I believe you've been invited up to partake in there's some juice and some condiments. So Lena, over the years I've gotten to know this young lady, and she comes back annually to the Winnebago celebration. Comes to us from the Cheyenne Arapaho Nation. She takes care of a lot of the veterans' doings down in Oklahoma, and then again, annually, always comes back to support our veterans in her own way. She was an officer in the military, and I've seen her at many of our veterans' doings, and I kind of ask in a nice way to express herself in behalf of her people and the support that she's given to the Winnebago people. Again, Miss Lena Nels.
Dos. Na asitno. Bahini sunana behin. Nanana nishjabet handon. Hanete silto. Patana. Hititi naku sage. Niake. Good morning. Ho. Nina esetani. Kisi sinequa. Kiswisik. Yat Lena Nelson Sha na Thana Inch Ego Ishihe Bashishin Shiche Natlanada Shinele Pitane Akwatao and Shta. I am Cheyenne Arapaho, Kickapoo, Prairie Band, Potawatomi, and I also represent the Navajo Nations, or Dene. I'm also, I was also given a Comanche name, horse stealer, a few years ago, Puku Musiwani. My Arapaho Indian name is Eagle Woman, and I was given that because we have a family drum group, and I used to help lead those songs, and I used to keep those leads and those songs. I could remember them really well. My first Indian name came from Potawatomi. It was one of our original Alatis from Prairie Band Potawatomis. And that's Two Bears Keeping Warm. I have a twin brother. And one's going into hibernation and the other's coming out. Thank you for this time this morning. What we're here for, you know, we served together. We served in different eras. I was a military intelligence officer during OIF, OEF eras. I did remain stateside. My youngest brother, he was with the 2nd Ranger Battalion during that time. Our commanders up at Fort Lewis, Washington, they knew both of us were in service, and so our commanders would bring me in because I had a top secret security clearance, so they would let me join these sync meetings. And the only thing I could tell my family was, you know, I'd call my dad. He was with the 216th Infantry Rangers during the first Gulf War. I would tell him, you know, just pray for my brother. And you know, there was a lot of missions that those Rangers do. That was a tough time for my mother. She's a war mother. She's the daughter of 2 veterans. My grandpa was in the Navy. My grandmother was in the Air Force. She was a pararigger for the paratroopers, and I put her in the wrong era last time I was here. I said World War II, but she was really in the Korean era, so I wanted to correct myself with that. But I hear about our young servicemen. I just met a young lady, and her brother's deployed. My father coached them both. So when our young people hear you talk, and they hear your stories, they're listening. And they do look up to you. You are men and women that our younger generations are wanting to be like. I heard my son say, I want to be like Eric. I'm very thankful for families here that I've come across. And I told you how much I wanted to be here. My son and I did live here. We did get a job. He was in school. That's how good this place has been to us. And they truly protected us. And I believe with all my heart that in my times of hardship that they did save our lives here. They did heal me. I'm a year in my healing. I got my leg fixed, so I've been dancing since May. So I'm really honored and happy to report that here, because the last time, you know, I was feeling real pitiful. And but I thank you for this opportunity to kind of follow up with those things and to let you know that everything's okay and everything's going to be okay, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what's going on in your life. You keep driving forward. You keep looking ahead. We try not to look back in life. You're going to miss out on what's right in front of you. There's a lot that we want to say. There's a lot that's said on the side. So please, yes, do take that time to go talk to a veteran. Listen to their story. We talk even when we're out here, and we get to meet and make new friends. There's somebody I've been wanting to mention here, and his name is Christian Snow. he helped me with that saber when I first came here. He was in the Marines, Air Force, and I believe another branch. He was a contractor last I knew. So that's somebody I always look forward to trying to see, but I haven't seen him since I first started coming around. Wanted to thank the Armel family, the Palkey family. It's always great to see these big families, and here in Winnebago they're everywhere. I want to mention everybody's names, you know, and speak their name. We read those names when we unfold those flags, or we're folding them up and putting them up. So I'm very honored, I'm very humbled, I'm very proud, I'm very thankful, and haho, many blessings to all my relations.
How about a round of applause again for Miss Lena Nels, coming to us all the way from Oklahoma annually, and certainly makes many of us feel proud. Proud that many other nations support one another. We all recognize Herushka and the veterans, most importantly. The ceremonies, the leadership that they have brought back, such as, again, Chief Little Priest. I've asked one of the councilmen for the Winnebago tribe to speak in behalf of our people, our veterans.
Oh, Hanapi. Russia needs you was good now. It's a credible one, you gotta be with. You say good morning to everybody. Greet everybody in a good way. And you know, it's good to know we have when people come to our land and speak their language, that's always a blessing. And so to say thank you to Lena Nels for her words, very enlightening. To know that she come over here and is finding solace for herself and her family, her son. And so, you know, being the second day and seeing our first day went really, really good. And hoping today we can build off that, make new relationships, friendships, and pray that they can carry on for many years and into the future. To bring more people here to enjoy themselves and experience our way of life and some of our history, some of the veterans that are coming as well. And so, you know, it's more, last night I was kind of cruising around a reservation and come across an airman named Woody, and so I invited him over here this morning to help partake with the flags, and he showed up. And so it was really good to see him come and enjoy himself so far. And so pray that he can do that for the next 3 days and help us out and do what we do here. And so with that, you know, on behalf of the council, I say thank you to everybody that's come out this far to enjoy themselves, and look forward to seeing everybody at Grand Entry, Retreat, and the evening festivities. So I'll say about that much. Gidi.
Again, we certainly appreciate the Winnebago Nation for, again, in part sponsoring the annual celebration, homecoming celebration. I've also asked one of my elders over here to express himself. Perhaps, again, a few stories on behalf of our people, again, the host nation, the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska.
Yeah, well, I want to say good morning to everybody. I'm glad to be here again, enjoying the powwow, enjoying the singing, talking, seeing people smiling, and I was wondering what I could say that kind of surprised me. I'm not really, I don't consider myself a speaker, but the things I heard about Chuck Bowman this morning, he was married to my niece, and my mother's a snake. He was married to Laura Snake, and but the things I heard about him, that was way beyond what I knew about him. But I was, he used to really help our post commander all the time. He was always ready to help the veterans. So when I heard they were going to raise his flag, that I mean, he wasn't an Indian, but boy, he was right there with the veterans organization. So I'm really glad we decided to okay that. I mean, we gladly did that to honor him, even though he's gone, you know. So I wanted his daughters to feel good, and also I used to have a lot of Wisconsin relatives come around here, and I used to go around his camps to look for them or see them around here, and but I'm getting up here in age, and all the people, even around here, older people and people a little older than me, they're all gone. So I'm kind of like alone, even though there's people around me. I just got memories of people that are gone, you know. But these traditions that are going on, this teachings, and that I'm glad they're going on, and that to me, I kind of experience things that it seems things are coming back around our tribe here, and I'm very just watching the veterans, even though I'm a veteran, watching these guys raise these flags and things hear about them. So and also boy lads, I was talking about teaching us things, and he said something about don't pay attention to the messenger, listen to the message, what people are saying, and I learn off that, start thinking that way, you know, that and so there's various things around here that like I just said the other day, that you can get well around this circle here. Here, yesterday, when one of these songs were going, I got up and walked around. I didn't even want to do that in the past, walk around in a cane around here. But I went to the hospital last night, and I got out this morning. But whatever I went through out here, just walking around here, I consider that leading to my good health. So I wanted to kind of express that, and I hope whatever I said that it might mean something to somebody. But I want to thank you for your attention, and I thank you for this honor, even though I don't feel like I deserve it. So thank you.
You know, every year I always depend on a few of the individuals to come up and perhaps express themselves in their own way. One of my little brothers, Mr. Brian Blackhawk, he always had a few words to share with the people. Times I would call him, he would never turn me down. And he always had good words in behalf of the Winnebago people. We lost him over the last year, and I was sorry that I couldn't come back. I've been quite busy over the last year, but again, think of, as the gentlemen were speaking earlier, of many of the people were losing a lot of our elders They were all sitting up in this area. It used to be quite full, but today there are very few elders left. I never really considered myself an elder because I still climb mountains. I still travel. I still have a lot of responsibility, and not only in the U.S., but Mexico and Canada. I've worked with the various assemblies and quite aware of a lot of the issues. I worked with the national chiefs in Canada and American Affairs out of Washington, D.C. And working down in Mexico, I was signed down there briefly and trying to negotiate the war down in Nicaragua, Guatemala. They faced the same issues that we do, but perhaps 50 years ago, 100 years ago. At times I think back to what obstacles our people had to face and trying to resolve and help them. I eventually ended up in Canada working for the National Assembly, various assemblies across the country. At that time, back in the 1980s, they were about 50 years behind us, introduced new words such as sovereignty, self-governance, tradition. They have advanced over the last 10 years to their leadership. The leadership, again, many of those based on education, some of them coming down to the United States. I have another friend here, Jeff, if you will, a guy that some of you have seen. He comes back annually, and he's always showing me photographs. He presented a nice pipe to me last year that I use in many of the ceremonies internationally, and kind of asked him, and I know he's a little shy, reluctant, but I asked him to say a few words. You know, he always got pictures, and again, he has roots here in Winnebago. So if you will, again, also, audience, we'd like to invite any of you that wish to come down and express yourself, perhaps in behalf of one of our veterans or their family or one of our traditional leaders within our community. So I'd like to introduce, he comes all the way from Rhode Island, Boston, someplace up that way. But he's here. He's always here helping our people, and just like Lena, it's certainly indeed a great honor to have a lot of our visitors in support. Jeff Brown.
Thanks, Boyd. You kind of put me on the spot here. So my name is Jeff Brown. Good morning, everybody. As Boyd said, I'm actually coming from Connecticut. I was born and raised in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Family never went to college or anything, and I was good in sports, so I played football for Missouri State. Got my grades up, transferred to Iowa State University on a full academic scholarship in architecture. After a backpack across Europe for 6 months, losing 40, 50 pounds and having no money, I slept under my desk at Iowa State and applied to Cooper Union, a school in New York City that if you get in, it's free, and it's a prestigious place. So I sold everything else I had, 180 bucks in my pocket, and I hitchhiked from Iowa to New York City. And I ended up in a hostel in Brooklyn, $150 a month rent, so I had basically 2 weeks to get a job. So I would walk across the Brooklyn Bridge and interview with different architects. I landed a job because every summer and Christmas, while I was in college at Iowa State, I was in an office or on a construction site. So while I was at Cooper Union, I think that the New Yorkers, especially in that place, saw the work ethic of the Midwesterners. We don't listen to crap, we cut through the bull crap and just get the work done. So a professor asked me to help him with a skyscraper in New York City, which we won the competition for the Austrian government. It's the Austrian Cultural Forum in New York City on 52nd Street near MoMA on 5th Avenue. It's always been a sort of shock to be out there on the East Coast, but there's a lot of good things. But through those journeys, I realized while I was at Iowa State, my grandmother, Frances Moore, would always talk about the Winnebago. She would tell stories. And usually she had one Miller Lite, and she would just start talking about Ponca, Santee, mainly Winnebago. I found out from my uncle that they went to Macy to find out if there's any truth to the story, but there were no records. I do have relatives buried in Walt Hill and Decatur, and I know Maddie Johnson right across the way is a stone that says Blackbird. So I believe it's a mixed cemetery. So when I first came back here to try to find the truth of this story, all I had was my grandmother's death and the beginning of some recognitions of things that I never really felt or thought about before. And I'm taking care of 4 marker trees back home that I recognized once my grandmother passed away. And these marker trees, I found out, carry a message. And the First Nations would plant them. I think out there it was the Mohegan and the Nipmunk. And they would usually point to a direction. But when I spoke to some elders, they said that each tree carries a message. So I was wondering, what is that message about? So is it a physical marking? Is it a journey? Is it pointing to a direction? And I believe it's all those things. So when I first came here, I came in a little late, but it was 6 a.m. flag raising. I heard Boy talk. And the way the words came out and the feeling I had, the heart started to get fuller. And I started to think about, in this world of iPhone, I want, iPad, MySpace, that there are very few places like this, in this sacred place, that exist. And I think I look forward every year to coming back, listening to Boy and others' words, but also making new friends. Josh, Naomi, Felix. And they've always been welcoming and open. And I might not be the best dancer out here, but every year I practice with a different drum group in my backyard. Started with Motown and Whitetail Boys, so I always ask the drum groups for some music, a CD, so that I can go back and for the next year practice. So I notice that as I practice harder, that there's a certain moment out here where you lose yourself into some other space. And I try to hold on to that as long as I can. It's fleeting, but in this world there's very few places like this. So I just want to thank everybody. I come here every year with a full heart and open heart, and I'm listening and watching. And I really appreciate Boyd and everybody here for the opportunity to come up and speak, even though it's kind of a shock. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
He said he couldn't speak. Okay, I'd like to again open the mic to any other individuals, native, non-native. They like to open the mic or come on down and perhaps express themselves their own way. I've been waiting for Randy to get up here. He's always got good words to. Incidentally, I certainly want to thank he and Gordon for taking care of me this year. I've been MIA for the last couple of years, but very difficult for myself. I still suffering from Vietnam. I have a herniated disc and more recently sciatica. Man, I think people out there that have that know that's 24/7 pain. And had a little difficulty. I have to sit down, stretch myself out, my back, and quite painful. But again, a lot of the veterans are going through the same. We've lost a lot over the last year. Agent Orange and cancer, diabetes, many of the diseases that have been attacking Indian country. Yeah, I saw the guy walking up. I know he wanted to express himself, so I certainly appreciate it.
Aho. Good morning. Bonjour and Dishnakash George Mangan the Dudim Ashka Begizi Bing and Dujaba. My name's George Green. Good morning, everyone. I'm an enrolled member here in the Winnebago, Nebraska. I travel from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm also a U.S. Navy military veteran. I served from August 21st, 2002 to February 2007. Operation Iraqi Freedom. Let me just first off say it's such a beautiful morning here in Winnebago, and you know, as being enrolled here, I grew up here. When I was younger, I lived with my kaka, Agnes Green, over by the old 76 gas station down the street. So I grew up here in Winnebago as a young little fella, and so Winnebago has always been a second home to me, next to Minnesota, and it's just always such a good feeling to be here in this arena. This arena is just so special to me, and there's no other arena like this on the Powwow Trail, and I travel throughout the season as a northern traditional dancer. And this powwow, this arena, anytime and every time I come here, it's so beautiful here. I mean, these little birds that fly around here, I don't know what you call them, but they're so beautiful, and it always reminds me when I used to live here as a young man. I lived with my grandma here in Winnebago, and so I just want to say it's every time I come here, I've been coming here the last 4 years or so since I started dancing. It's always so welcoming here, and the arena, all the flags, and we get up at 6 in the morning and put the flags up, and we take them down in the evening. Like, there is no other powwow in the Powwow Trail that does this. Not that I know, but this is my favorite powwow of the season. And you know, I do whatever it takes to get here. You know, I had a Jeep that recently broke down. You know, it's gonna need a new engine and stuff, and that's gonna cost me something. But you know, I do whatever it takes to come here to this powwow, this Winnebago powwow, and it's just so special to me. And I'm not just saying that. And it's a really good feeling here. And this has always been my second home, is Winnebago. This is where I'm enrolled. This is where I grew up as a young man. My choka, George Green, he was well known here. You know, I just seen his gravestone on social media last night. He was in the Army. I believe he was born in 1900, and he passed away in 1982. And I never got the opportunity to meet him. But that's who I'm named after, is George Green. So I just want to introduce myself and just say that I'm proud to be from Winnebago, Nebraska, and I would not rather be from any other tribe. I'm so proud to be from here, and so proud of my people and the powwow that we put on here. It's such a beautiful place, and I just really love and enjoy being here. And yeah, one last thing I just want to say is, you know, I mentioned I'm a military veteran, and you know, as veterans, we go through, you know, we go through things. We go through things mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and dancing has been really helpful for me as a military veteran, and not just that, just being a guy in recovery. You know, I've been in recovery about 6 years, so I just don't go from military veteran. You know, I was homeless at one time and had to restart my life, and I had to get sober, and I had to get myself from off the street and pick myself back up. So dancing has been really helpful in my recovery, and as a military veteran, dancing has helped me build my life back up. And dancing has been a big medicine, and this arena is medicine, and the drum is medicine, and I really thank the drums, because without the drums we wouldn't be able to dance. So I always appreciate them. Miigwech, Pinagigi to those drums. I really appreciate them. And yeah, I just want to say it's a beautiful morning, and I wish everyone a beautiful Friday, and it's good to be here. And Yeah, wish everybody a good day. Miigwech, pinagigi, aho.
Better you interview, you know the answer. Better go ahead, say it.
All right, we're going to do the honoring for Chuck Bowman, their song. And I know Gray Wolf knows the appropriate song, so maybe the family of Chuck Bowman, his daughters, anybody that wants to support the family can come on out here. And maybe I'll get one of my comrades to grab that Eagle staff, Bruce, and lead them around. So family of Chuck Bowman, you can come out here, and one of our veterans will lead you around and sure appreciate us talking about Chuck Bowman today. So Gray Wolf, whenever the family, come on out here. I believe you're going to use George Snake, is that right? Army? Okay, Army song. Oh. Good guys.
Okay, at this time, family members, friends, people that knew Chuck, we certainly appreciate you coming out in support of the family, and this being his day, again, the main flagpole in honor of Vietnam veteran Mr. Chuck Bowman. So, if you will, Gray Wolf. Ho-ho. Again, family, friends, Winnebago people, we invite you to come down and support the family. When we honor families or individuals, there were songs that were composed in their honor. In lieu of that, many times we go to our service songs, what particular branch or military they served. In this case, they are singing the Army song. Again, we'd like to ask all family members, veterans, if you will, let us honor Mr. Chuck Bowman and all the things that he has done for the Winnebago people. Pinigigi. Again, we are certainly appreciative to the family and honoring again the late Chuck Bowman, a Vietnam veteran. Whether you're native or non-native alike, again, you're all part of this circle, and we certainly thank Chuck for all what he has done for the Winnebago people. As they were talking about the various clans, among the Ho-Chungatta people, we have 11 practicing clans. There was an accident back in the 1980s where we lost one of our medicine bundles. And so they, again, try to bring that back. Again, the representative of the 12 various clans of the Ho-Chungatta people. We follow the paternal side and clan affiliation. We follow the father's side. Each clan has a certain responsibility within our nation, be it social gatherings, ceremonial gatherings. Each clan member does not have to ask, what do I do? What's my responsibility? It is in your blood. One just doesn't go out and pick a clan arbitrarily and say he's a member of the Bear Clan. Again, we follow that tradition, long-held tradition through the centuries. There are basically two orders among the Ho-Chungatta people. We have the sky clans, the chief clans. Anything that flies the heavens are the chief clans. They are the peacekeepers, the peace chiefs among our people. Then we have the lower order, the bear, the deer, all the way down to the snake clan. The snake clan has a responsibility to the Ho-Chungatta people to provide laughter. We say that laughter is good medicine. I recall back in the early 1960s when Reuben Snake maintained and kept that tradition of the responsibility of the snake clan. He would show up at some of our powwows and gatherings as a clown. But again, like a heyoka, we respect that in our own way. Whether it be some of our ceremonial gatherings, I always look to one of the clan members to do something. Not necessarily disrespectful, but again, to bring that certain laughter for everything that we do. Like I say, there's always, especially among the Ho-Chungatta Winnebago people, there's always laughter. I could go to a conference around the country and you hear a bunch of people laughing over in the corner. You almost know that it's Ho-Chunks or Winnebago people. I think of Louis LaRose, you know, we go to Wanagida. I think of him at many of the conferences. He always had that element of laughter. The national leadership would always depend on him not only for his wisdom, but most importantly, the humor that we see in everything that we do. The Bear Clan has a responsibility. That's where the war chiefs come from. They protect the village. They're so-called policemen. In times of war, they would lead our members, our war parties. Again, it is a responsibility. The Bear Clan is perhaps one of the most powerful in the Ho-Chunk structure. Again, they are the policemen. We come together in gatherings, be it social, be it ceremonial. The Bear Clan always has that responsibility. Something happens with an individual, perhaps someone that has passed on in the upper order. It is always the responsibility of the lower order to take care of them, and vice versa. Among our people, again, we do not wait to be told what to do. You know your responsibility, your clan responsibility. There is a relationship between the two clans, the upper and the lower order, that we always observe and follow. Over the years, I was very fortunate in being raised by my grandparents. I lived in a Chiporake up at Geshuch, Iron Mountain. I was thankful that I was brought up in the lodge, the ways of my uncles and my chokas, and seeing a lot of the leaders that we talk about today. We talk about these elders from the 1940s, 30s, 40s, 1950s. I shared a lot of part of my life, my early childhood, listening to these individuals. Here in the Winnebago area, annually, as a gentleman was saying earlier, it's kind of a homecoming. A lot of the people from Ho-Chungatta country come down here, and vice versa. Many of them will come up to Neokhane, up to Black River. We support one another because we're all related. We are all one. The responsibility, again, of each of the clans among the Ho-Chungatta people, we strive ourselves and always giving. There's more power in giving than there is receiving. I've been to several potlatches, giveaways, giveaway dances. And the power that has been restored by the power of giving. You know, people, I see some of the stands are selling sweetgrass, cedar, tobacco. We know that in the Ho-Chungatta way, the opposite of spirituality is materialism. You buy a piece of sweetgrass, it has no power because money was exchanged for that. But by perhaps buying that and giving it to someone, you restore the power of that sweetgrass, the power of that tobacco. There are basically 4 or 5 elements that we use today. Sage being for the individual, for protection. We put it in our moccasins, in our pockets. We keep that in a special place. It provides protection for an individual. Sweetgrass is used for the mind. Your children can't sleep at night or you have bad dreams. You take sweetgrass and take it around the room. It has that certain aroma that appeasing to the spirits. Cedar is used for objects, pipes, water cups, what have you. Things of prayer, things that are considered sacred. So again, we utilize that. And this is a standard that's almost recognized by all the traditional people. We have different elements that we use in a way of protection. As a teacher, I taught many world champions, a lot of dancers. I still coach today periodically. And scent is always used as a way of protection. It gives it a certain spirit, certain element that we look for to help us in our dancing ability. If you don't have access to any of these aids, any of these scents, I oftentimes encourage to use cologne, the white man's medicine. Cologne, and create that. I've been using my cologne for the last 40 years, plus years. And that's kind of my spirit. It guides me when I put that on, helps me when I dance. When you put that regalia on, you are a different person. You are a different person. You come into this circle free of animosity, free of jealousy. You come in to enjoy yourself. That certain healing that we all search for, that certain blessing. I want to thank the family again for providing a little bit of food for the veterans. Each morning the main pole goes up, the family will put together a meal, a breakfast, for not only the veterans but for everyone. Language is something that I tend to use wherever I go. Back in the 1700s, 1750s, there was a meeting held here by Sioux Falls, north of Sioux City. A meeting held with the Omaha people. They have been practicing the ways of the warrior, the grass dance, since the 1600s. And other tribes noticed, observed, and they respected. They liked that way. And so there was a meeting held up near the border. People from the Arikara, the Ho-Chungra, the Ojibwe, the Gutchis, and the Sioux people, the Dakotas came to that meeting. They gifted the Omaha people with 55 horses. They bought that right to what we exercise here today. We use a horse many times in the element, various ceremonies, because the horse was equivalent to a human being. So those 55 horses enabled all these nations to take that back. Each of these different nations, again, added on their own particular way of life. The Arikara took this dance. Today they still have their tail feather ceremonies up in Newtown. They are related to the Crow people. The Crows adopted their way from the Hidatsa, the Mandan, the Arikara. The Crow people, like the Hidatsa, have their ceremonies as well. They bring their medicine bundles, their war bundles out annually. They bring their pipes and their medicine out, just like the Hidatsa. The same with the Ojibwe. The Ojibwe took this dance. We have what is called the big drum. There are certain responsibilities in each of these ceremonies. You have the spoon keeper, the lead man, the whip man. There are about 6, 7 different responsibilities that the Ojibwe people still utilize in their ceremonies. That was taken all the way around. It made a big circle. The Potawatomi perhaps have still maintained the original remnants of what we call the big drum. Again, that ceremony is held annually. Every community, every Ojibwe people, community that celebrates, honors their tradition, carries this dance. Again, all originating from the Omaha. I, as a speaker many times, and I talk about history, origin, I credit the Omaha, not only for the origin, but what they have done for our people here, for the Winnebago, the Ho-Chungra. As a young boy sitting in the lodge listening to our elders, my chokas talk, I listened to them. They were talking about World War II. One of the stories they related in the lodge was that as they were taking these troop trains out of Alaska, going to Japan, the islands during World War II, They said they stopped in Canada, some of these train stations, and they said, hey, we have relatives up there. They speak the same language that we do. And I kind of forgot that over time. Not until I started dancing around Edmonton, northern Alberta, that I finally understood what my grandpa was talking about. The Nakota people are part of the Siouan dialect. And they speak a similar language, almost identical, more than the Sioux Nation. They speak almost identical to the Ho-Chungaha people. They reside all along the Rocky Mountains, from Calgary all the way up to Edmonton, north of Edmonton, about 100 miles. But they again speak a Ho-Chungaha dialect. Language is one way to trace origins from, again, across the country. Residing in New Mexico today, many of the Navajo people come from the Northwest Territories. They call the Denny people. In my travels when I was over in Europe, I went to their Hermitage in Russia, St. Petersburg. And I walked into the anthropological section. What do I see but a teepee and a chipotake, a wigwam, which again identifies to a culture that is similar to our own, migration. I was fortunate in representing the United States and going to the Kremlin, performing U.S. State Department tour. I was there during the Supreme Soviet, their Congress equivalent. As I moved among the people, I got to see a lot of the Mongolian people, and I could have swore I was in Navajo country. Their features, their language, almost identical. Almost identical to many of the Meskwaki people. Not until my travels up into Nova Scotia, up into Quebec, that I understood their roots. They came from up in that region. You look at their regalia, their colors, you look at the language. It's identical to our brothers, the Meskwaki people. They originated, they went down to Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and eventually migrated westward up to Upper Michigan, eventually down to Iowa. They're related. I'm also related, adopted into the Bear Clan of the Meskwaki Nation. I have a lot of relatives there. Incidentally, when someone is adopted into a family or tribe, they usually say that they means more to them than your own family relatives. So many times I observe and I follow my Meskwaki family. I have many families around the country, but again, I respect that. Respect that first. As I say that I continue to climb mountains, I still have many more things to do in life. I'll be returning back to Mexico, and pretty much what I had created at Skamitzen is what I'm doing in Mexico City now. But it's like, again, it's a long road. It is a long road, and speaking on behalf of a lot of our veterans, we still fight that war. Again, through Agent Orange, I have a herniated disc and evolved into sciatica. It's pretty painful. Yet I still continue to dance. When I come out, I feel that power, that energy, as some of the individuals were talking about, the homecoming. It's a time of healing. Time of healing. We depend on that drum. We say that drum is Wakan. It's holy. It brought a lot of unity to our people. I recall back in the 1950s when many different tribes could not sit at the same drum. Now today, you see everybody, all tribes united, sitting at the same drum. And again, that is a power of that drum. And the songs, the homage that they pay to many of the veterans. You listen to the words. The words, again, expressing the spirit of someone that had been in battle. And again, not that we are warmongers, but again, we learn the lessons of war. Some of the songs that are sung express the appreciation of life. One song in particular among the Hochangare, love one another. That's, again, the essence of why we are here today. Homecoming. Homecoming for the Hochangare to the Winnebago people. I was very fortunate in getting to know and spend time listening to Lawrence Big Bear and Felix, Jim Frenchman, a lot of the elders, PJ. I was fortunate listening to him as a little boy. I remember sitting up here in Wilbur Sharpback's camp and listening to these elders talk, and they come down together as a group. It was a beautiful time in my life, learning. Listen with your ears, not your mouth, we say, among the Hochangare people. Listen to the words, as a gentleman is saying. Listen to the words. Don't look at the individual. Listen to the words. Then you gain so much more in life. Politics nowadays, in the powwow circle, you can almost cut the air with a knife. With the advent of money that has come into this circle, has changed a lot of things. Recently, this last weekend, the first time I ever heard of that, people fighting in this arena, one with his full regalia on. That is not right. That does not belong here. I'm waiting to hear an apology, and these are powwow people. That's what has happened to this circle. Money. Money is the opposite of spirituality. Material things. As again, as the lessons learned from these warriors, love one another. Get along. We say never criticize a warrior, especially someone that has been in combat, because the spirits that guide him can come back on you. That's why we say never tell a lie in this circle. I've honored that all of my life. And again, I try to share that throughout the world. Spent a lot of time in Europe, throughout Russia, in many different capacities. But I reflect what I have from the teachings of our elders. And again, I think of the elders, the Winnebago Nation, the elders that here that had a big part of my life. Times we used to say as Hochangare people that the Winnebago people down here speak a perfect Ho-Chunk. I have to agree. They speak a perfect Ho-Chunk language. Language has changed over the years. It has changed now, whereas someone today perhaps tried to talk to someone back in 1900. They wouldn't understand one another. It's changed because slang has changed the language so much. You know, I listen to, and again, I praise a lot of the new language programs. Many of them, you know, learning out of books and computers. But they lack the spirit part. Language is the spirit. Everything becomes black and white. They don't have the nasal, they don't have the guttural sounds when I listen to them speak. They kind of sound like Maichates trying to talk Ho-Chunk. And it's not belittling, no. They are trying. They're sent in that direction. Now it's up to them to listen to the elders, to sit down with the elders. The best way of learning language is to live it. I look at Cup, I look at bread. You look at the white man's bread. It just occupies space. Most times isn't really good for you, but we look at Cup, fry bread, Cup takare. When you say that term, right away, it tantalizes your senses. It tantalizes your senses because it has, like I said, a certain spirit. So again, it's something that we try to learn. You live that language. Most of our lot of our words we don't have English words to interpret it fully. I was asked yesterday a couple of the words, Indian names. Indian names were given by the warriors. Given by the warriors, and it wasn't necessarily taking coup on the enemy as it is something that we learned in battle. My grandfather, my mother went to my grandfather, gave him Dane, and asked for a name. Asked him to name me. My grandfather was in World War II. He was a medic. They happened to get overrun. He threw a couple of bodies on top of himself and he laid there for almost 2 days. The Japanese came through and bayoneting everyone, anything that moved. And eventually, because of starvation, lack of water, he eventually worked his way out. He laughed. He got back to his unit. And so when it came time to name me, all he could think of was, he laughed at the enemy. I beat them. I come home. So when I got my name, Ikshaguga, one that laughs, it means the whole story is coming home laughing. Now, one of the councilmen asked me about that earlier, and I told him the breakdown of our Indian names. So again, each of these names, you might have one short term, but there's always a story involved in our Indian names. So again, I certainly appreciate the opportunity to come up and express myself in my own way. The teachings that I have learned, I share. Again, we always try to help one another. Maybe perhaps somebody I don't necessarily agree with, but perhaps your words can help them, can guide them in life. And especially in this circle. This circle means so much to the Ho-Chunga, the Winnebago people. So again, I certainly hope that you've learned something a little bit more about our culture and our way of life. I'm only a product of my teachers, my chokos, my degas, karokeha, my grandmothers. But again, that is something as a gift I feel that I try to help one another. And again, I want to thank Randy and Gordon for bringing me back. Normally, I'll MC powwows maybe 7, 8 times, and time to move on. Same thing in dance. You win 4 or 5 times, time to move on. There's some celebrations, been there 20, 30 years, and Winnebago is always special to me. I first came here in 1953, dancing, and the speaker stand used to be over here. They didn't have the covers as we have here, but it was always a homecoming, a special time for the Ho-Chunga people to honor and celebrate our relatives, to support them. At this time, again, I'd like to open the mic up if there's anyone else that wishes to perhaps express themselves or have a few words in support of what we are witnessing, what we are a part of this weekend. I open the mic at this time. Aho, Jankidi here. Aho. Hey, there's a guy here I wanted to acknowledge. This gentleman been walking around the last couple of days and always taking care of our elders, all the people, and during the meals he's always going out to the audience and giving them a plate, something to drink, and I noticed this morning he doing the same, so I do want to compliment and thank him for honoring our elders. Again, there is a feathering ceremony about another hour and a half, about 9:30. So we'd like to ask you to come back and be a part of this giveaway and a part of this feathering ceremony. So That'll be about 9:30 or so. Again, taking care of one of our Oto sisters, Iowa sisters from Oklahoma. They come here annually each year and wanting to receive this feather and ask in a kind way. So we'll have that ceremony about 9:30. If there's anyone else that wishes to come up, and I want to thank you for that sandwich. So again, the mic is open. Without further ado, we'll take a little break. Gray Wolf about 9:30 or so. Thank you. I want to, at this time, also acknowledge a Big Voice. They've been recording throughout the weekends, not only the powwow, but the veterans portion as well. And again, there are a number of people around the country that can't attend, weren't able to make it here, but they are listening in. And again, Big Voice, they have a radio station, and some of you up in the camping area want to listen to it. 100.9, I believe it is. So, Big Voice, we want to thank them for coming out and recording this morning's portion. Pinigigi.